This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the Touch of Gaming podcast, episode number 142. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, Jared Schultz. Jared, how the heck are you, my friend?
I am good. I missed you last week, Lloyd.
Yeah, I was just didn't work for whatever reason. You obviously you had something that you had to take care of. I had multiple people cancel at the last minute. So there was no show last week. Like an hour before recording, I got 2 emails almost at the same time. It's like, oh yeah, sorry, I said I'd be there. Sorry, I can't. And the person I had as my backup, just in case that person, because they were still waffling, was like, yeah, no, sorry, I can't do that. So yeah, we didn't have a show last week. So everybody, sorry.
We're gonna make it up to you this week. We both have 2 reviews.
Yeah, we do. We got hella content for you guys this week.
Yeah, and now I know exactly what you went through a couple months ago, because my wife had the pew laser eye surgery.
The laser pew eye thingy, in fact, is the technical name for that, as my wife would say. Laser
pew eye thingy. Yep. So yeah, though she hasn't had any complications, she just had a massive number of eye drops.
Yeah,
I'm wicked good at giving eye drops though.
Yeah, you get really
practice.
Good. I remember the first day when Kara got home from the hospital, she had to take drops every half hour, and then it went to every hour, and then it went to every 2 hours. So I had like 700 different alarms on my iPhone, and they would go off, and I'd be just like run and grab the drops and shake it and put it in the eye, and then turn off my alarm. And I had it down to a science, man. It was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. So she's recovering nicely, though. My wife couldn't have the quick recovery kind, unfortunately. She had to have the long recovery kind. So
that's terrible, but better than what my wife went through, I'm sure.
It's true. She had the quick recovery, but then she had the really long recovery from complications.
Yeah, she's still recovering from them, and she had this in like April. Yeah, it's terrible. All right, well, enough of laser pew eye thingies. Let's get into the show. Jared, what have you been playing?
Well, so a couple of things I've been playing I'm not going to talk about because they're going to get reviewed today, because like I said, we have 4 reviews, which is great. But then I've been playing a little bit of Delta V Racing, which is the one that you're reviewing. Been playing a little game called Layton Brothers Mystery Room. So this is by Level 5. It's kind of the children of Professor Layton. Though it's kind of weird because, man, there is no family resemblance. Like, Professor Layton has this, like, square chin and stuff, and these guys are, like, string beans.
Big noses.
Seriously. Like, I don't know. They must look like their mother, and then I don't know who their mother looks like.
They had some contaminants in the gene pool, I guess.
Seriously. And maybe Professor Layton should get a paternity test.
If you're paying anything for that child, you might want to have someone do a swab or something.
Just to be 100% sure. Anyway, so it's very different from a Professor Layton game. In fact, it almost has more in common with the Phoenix Wright type game. Mm-hmm. Because there are various puzzles that you have to solve, and you go through them. However, you can't fail. There is no such thing as a fail state in this.
How friendly.
Like, if you mess up, it'll say, like, no, of course that's not right. Would you like to pick again? And it will just let you keep doing that. So it feels more like an interactive storybook to some degree. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah, but there's like these murders that happen, and somehow you have a mystery room that's magical, and you can recreate the scene of the crime, exactly how everything happened, and you have to point out what different clues contradict the current story that you're working on, and then get the right person and accuse the right person. And if you, like I said, if you accuse the wrong person, the guy will be just like, nope, you're wrong, you're dumb. Would you like to pick again? And so yeah, to some degree, it feels like an interactive storybook.
Yeah, I played it as well. I played the free case that comes with it, and it's just like, I don't know. It seemed a little too guessy for my liking. You could guess on a lot of things, and it wasn't so much uncovering clues as it was looking through a scene for hidden things and then finding the hidden things and then solving the crime.
Yeah, it was a little weak. So the way it works is there are 2 free ones. Then you can pay, I think, $1.99 for the next 3 cases, and then $2.99 for the last 4 cases. So it's at least a nice way to do it, so that you can give the game a try and see if it works for you. So if it does sound somewhat interesting, kind of that interactive storybook with like some crime in it, then yeah, it's probably worth the download. But otherwise, I would say go ahead and pass on this one, and you'll be okay. Even if you're a big Professor Layton fan, the puzzles are nothing like Professor Layton.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no Professor Layton to this, so don't get too excited. And then the other game that I have been playing a lot and I wanted to talk quickly about is a game called Girls Love Robots. I know I'm way, way, way behind on this game.
Only a couple years late.
It's not a couple years. It's less than a year.
Really? No, it's been out for a long time, man.
We're going to go to the interwebs to figure out.
You talk about it, I will look.
Okay, and then you will find out that I'm right. So Girls Love Robots. It's by Adult Swim, so it has kind of that goofy sense of humor going on. And there are like buses, and you have to arrange the bus so there are enough happiness points. And you can get a bronze, silver, or gold based on how many happiness points. And for example, girls really like to sit next to robots, but you can't sit a robot next to 4 girls or else they get overwhelmed. And you can't sit them next, and girls don't really like to sit next to nerds, but nerds like to sit in the corner or along the edge. And so it's, a little stereotype, that they don't want to be part of stuff. And they also like robots. I mean, everyone wants to sit by robots. And the game gets progressively more complex. There's several different ways. A lot of them will have like, pieces already in place and you have to build around them. It's good. It's a good little puzzle game. And the reason I finally picked it up is because it's been on my watch list forever and it went down to free. So
nice. So yeah, it came out in October 10th of 2012.
Oh, so, I win. So less than a year.
About a year. Wow, you were right. I thought it was earlier than that. It seems like it's been out forever. Maybe it came out in Canada earlier because sometimes Adult Swim does that.
Backpedaling are we? So yeah, I've been playing that, and those are probably the main ones that I've been playing that we're not reviewing today. So I really like Girls Love Robots. So girls like robots, girls love robots. I don't know.
Nice.
So it's probably worth the pickup. It's a fun little quick puzzle game that
logic puzzle.
Yeah, logic puzzle, very much. And I think it's one that I will continue playing for a while, and I will like it.
Cool. So that's about it.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot. Simpsons Tapped Out still. It just came out with another.
I've never heard of it.
It came out with another big content update where now you can build the Krusty theme park, which it got me all excited. And then it turns out that instead of you building this theme park in your little city that you've made, your little Springfield, you actually go to another screen and build it on another plot of land, which kind of undoes the kind of, I guess, the story of the game, because the story of the game was a nuclear reactor exploded and the land was blown apart into little chunks, and like thousands of little chunks that everybody could have their own, and their multiverses. But now your multiverse has a bus that takes you to another part of the country, which is just like, what? How does that even make sense? And yes, I know I'm talking about like canon of story on a stupid little free game.
Wait a minute. Multiverses can be big. You don't have to have a limited view of the multiverse.
Right, but I'm just saying the way that they explained it, where it was a little shard of land that you're basically repopulating. So it was just a little tiny chunk of land is what you had. And there's a multiverse, so there's many copies of the same little chunk of land, but it's not a whole planet type thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. The one problem with this is when you go to the new place to start building, you actually can't use your currency anymore because you don't use dollars for it. You use tickets. So when you go to a park, like a fun park, or to go ride some rides, it takes like tickets to get on the ride. So Ride the Zipper is like 4 tickets. Well, you use those same tickets to build stuff. So I guess they were sick of people that had millions and millions and millions of dollars and could buy anything without thinking. So now they've added a different currency in this different world, which is okay, whatever. The other weird thing is now when you go do stuff in the other world, it actually takes people from your main city. So if you have quests in your main Springfield, well, you can't do quests with the same character in both places. So really weird like addition to it. I think this might be the end of Simpsons for me because I just don't dig it. I don't dig it so much. So if this is the type of stuff that they're working on doing, it's not something I really want to play with. So anyway, so that's probably the last you'll hear of Simpsons. So Jared, you'll be really happy.
They've got to monetize somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been playing some other games, stuff. 2 games I'm going to review this week: Tiny Thief and Delta 5 or Delta V Racing, depending on how the developer wants it to be said. I'll be reviewing those this episode. But I've been playing some other games. I picked up Chillaxian for $2. It's a game, a chill version of Galaxian, so it's a very good name for it. You basically are shooting wave after wave of alien invaders. And the controls are really simple. You touch the left side of the screen, the left half of the screen, and you go left. You touch the right half of the screen, you go right. And that's it. There's no weapon upgrades or anything. The only thing you can do is once you get past a certain number of waves, you go into a debris field, and you can find little pods that will you can pick up, and then you get another ship that shoots beside you. And that's it. And then it's a high score game, so you get a couple points for every ship you blow up, and it's just a race to see who can get highest on the scoreboard. Really fun, great effects. You can turn on like a 1980s effect, which makes like a buzzing and scan lines and stuff. It's a really neat little game, and it's kind of right up my alley. So I like that one. So that one was Chillaxian, and earlier today, I got sent a message on Twitter from great friends of the show, Mike and Mike from Beaver Tap Games, the creators of some great Mikey Shorts games. We talked about them. We interviewed them here on the show. Love Mikey Shorts. But they had submitted a game called Mikey Hooks, which is the sequel to Mikey Shorts, to the App Store. Well, I had a bright and shiny new promo code from them so I could check out the game. It comes out next Thursday. It'll be up on August 8th. And I played it, and I sped run through the first 3 of the 6 worlds, just doing my initial run through to kind of get the lay of the land. This game is every bit as addictive of Mikey Shorts. It's every bit as twitchy, where if you can miss a jump by like a pixel or 2 and get angry at yourself, but it's not punitive. You just restart and everything's fine. They've added a great little hook mechanic. Obviously, it's called Mikey Hooks, so there has to be something to do with hooks in there. And basically, throughout the level, instead of just running and jumping and sliding, there will be these little, little circle things. And if you get near them, they start glowing. If you hit the jump button a second time, now you shoot out a little hook, and then you can start swinging from those little anchor points. And that adds a whole new bit of mechanic into the game for speedrunning, because you have to figure out whether going low is better or whether sailing across the top while swinging on hooks is good. When you're swinging on hooks, you might not have 100% control because you might let go too high and then you land right on an enemy that has spikes on his head or something. So there's a lot of stuff at play. It still has the main mechanic of Mikey Shorts, where you can get 3 stars essentially in each level. You get or 3 things in each level. The first one is completion for beating the level, and then that completion can be 1, 2, or 3 stars, so depending on how fast you do it. Then you can get a coin note on that level if you collect all the coins in the world, and then you can also get a golden shorts icon on that level if you find the hidden golden shorts in each level. So you're playing through every level multiple times, at least twice, because you'll do one playthrough where you get all the gold and hopefully find the golden shorts, and then hopefully you're fast enough and you can get gold on your one run through. But more often than not, you're playing through every level multiple times, trying to find the quickest line to get from start to finish. It is so much fun. I can't wait for this one to come out next week, so that we can do a review in next episode and tell you guys how awesome this game is. I'm in love with it right now. I haven't hooked up my iCade to it. I want to do that because it'll probably be even better with the iCades, just like Mikey Shorts was better with iCade controls. So yeah, I'm super stoked. So look for it next week, next Thursday. Mikey Hooks coming out on the App Store. It is good. All right, man. I think that's gonna do it. Let's get into the news. So Temple Run, that's a thing, right? It's a game. It's sold well. They made lots of money. What's the one thing that's missing from Temple Run? If you would think of one thing missing from Temple Run, what would it be for you?
Olympic sprinters.
Oh my God, you guessed it. How did you get that? It's almost like it's in the show notes or something. Yeah. Anyway, today it came out that there is a Temple Run 2 downloadable content where you can actually buy the character Usain Bolt, who basically is a crazy fast runner and the 100-meter world record holder and Olympic champion Usain Bolt. You can buy him for 99 cents, and he will replace your normal running dude with himself. And he has a special power-up, which is the Bolt, which makes sense because he's called Usain the Bolt, which is a horrible nickname, but there you go. How bizarre is that? I don't really understand why this happened. Apparently, they were doing a contest. They wanted to get feedback from their public on what they should add to the game, and I guess this one out was adding Usain Bolt to the game, and sure enough, he's there. And I saw a news post or a Twitter post from him where he's like, "Hey, I'm in the game. This is awesome." It's like, what? Okay, that's a thing, I guess. Really bizarre.
It's still surprising to me that they added him to Temple Run and not to Temple Run 2.
It is in Temple Run 2.
Oh, I thought it was in Temple Run.
No, Temple Run 2. I believe it's Temple Run 2. Yeah, Temple Run 2.
Oh, you're right. I didn't actually go read the source material.
Oh my goodness, Jared. What's how bush league there, man?
Crap, I'm fired.
All right, moving on. If Usain Bolt wasn't enough, the original founder, one of the original founders of Bungie, which is a great game studio. They created Halo. Before that, they created Myth and some other games. Alex Seropian basically had his hands as part of that. He left. He basically left Bungie and formed a small company, and then that small company was bought by Disney. And then he became the head president of development at Disney. And then 2 years ago, he's like, working at Disney's too easy, and he quit. And for the last 2 years, he's I guess he had probably some sort of time where he couldn't develop any gaming stuff. Usually when you leave a high-paying position like that, there's some form of limitation on your severance package or whatever.
Yeah, non-compete clause.
Yeah, like a non-compete or something like that. So he started another company, and now his plan with this new company is to reinvent shooters on the tablet. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about this. There's a great article. It's a huge article, actually. It's over at Polygon. I love their stuff. If you want to read a little bit more about what Alex Seropian, who he is and what he's done, definitely go check that one out. But this really makes me excited. There's some, I guess, a little bit of art up there that kind of shows kind of what he's working on, the type of game that he's working on. and it looks really exciting. So I don't know, Jared, you don't play a lot of shooters, but you've played some on iOS. Like, do you think that they're flawed enough that someone has to come in and reinvent it? Do you think that is needed, or do you think this is like some really good marketing?
I say let him try. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that shooters, the touch screens are the best device for shooters.
No.
You know, you're right. I don't play a lot. I have played through the whole Mass Effect trilogy. I've played a few, let's say, less shooter type games. But and I've played several of them on iOS, and there's been very few that I actually really liked the control scheme on.
Sure.
The only one I can think of that I actually kind of liked was Eliminate. When
Sure.
that first came out by NG Moko, that one was actually pretty comfortable. But besides that, I just haven't been really thrilled with them. In fact, most of them I've been really disappointed with. So
Yeah.
I say let them try. I think that there always will be certain platforms that work best for certain types of games,
Mhm.
and I would love for him to convince me that first person shooters work on touchscreens, because right now I pretty much won't touch them.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people feel the same way as you. I don't mind shooters on iOS. I like Deus Ex Human Revolution. I gave it a glowing review. It is a really great game. I'm still playing it, going through the game on my iPad. It works pretty good. There's a new shooter that just came out today, which is another one that's supposed to reinvent shooters. I haven't played it yet. I can't remember the name. It's called The Drowning, and that just came out. It's a free download with in-app purchases, I guess. So there's a lot of people that think that it's flawed enough, which I guess makes sense. There's a lot of people that won't play shooters on iOS. So good luck to Alex. You probably have a lot of work ahead of you if you want to make shooters something that people that don't like shooters on iOS but still play shooters on other platforms will actually play. But yeah, no, good luck to you. Hopefully it works out, because the more people that play this stuff means better games coming out for us.
See, and I'm really to the point that I really don't like a shooter on a mouse and keyboard. I don't even like them on a controller. So maybe I'm obviously not the best market for it. But yeah, I saw that one, The Drowning.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's by Mob Edge, so it's probably a cash grab.
Yeah, most likely. All right, moving on. Zynga, they're a big company. They have lots of players. People play the Farmvilles and the Cityvilles and the Othervilles and the stuff with friends. So they make mobile, they make Facebook games. In their latest earnings filing, later in July, they basically announced that they have they're basically hemorrhaging users. Their users, monthly users, are down 25%. Their daily users are down 25% in 3 months, in 1 quarter. And for a company that makes money basically selling games or giving games away and then collecting little bits every time that you want to do something in the game, losing like 25%. I mean, they're down to 39 million daily average users, where it used to be 52 million. I mean, that's many millions of people that are potentially ponying up money for in-app purchases or farm coins or farm bucks or whatever. Pretty scary. Zynga's they make a lot of games on iOS as well, Jared, and they have that publishing company now. Like, I'm kind of concerned that, I don't know, maybe in a year Zynga really won't be around. I mean, it seems like every other day they're announcing that they're closing a studio or laying off people. I don't know. What do you think? I know you're not the hugest Zynga fan, so you probably are kind of smiling deep inside. But yeah, what do you think of this news story that came out? Do you think it's going to impact iOS game development much, or are they going to maybe move into more of a publishing role?
I don't know. I feel like it's not going to actually impact it that much because even if Zynga fails, there'll be plenty of other people to fill that role. And I feel like Zynga really missed out on the mobile transition. They, like many other companies, didn't see the mobile transition coming, and they kind of got beat to the punch by some of these other companies like Gung Ho, or who's the people that did that Clash of Clans?
Yeah, I can't think of their name. There's Glue Mobile. There's I can't think of Clash of Clans, but yeah, they're making stupid amounts of money.
They just kind of got beat to the punch, and
yeah, like,
that's kind of the way it goes. And I think that there's a lot of talented people there, and I hope that they're finding new jobs just in case it doesn't work out. So
yeah, exactly. Like, I was thinking back to Farmville. When Farmville was so popular, and that's what everybody was doing on Facebook, I jumped in and I played a little bit of it because I wanted to see if that's maybe a show that I could start up at one point. Social games. I thought maybe that's going to be the next big thing. I finally got sick of it. But they came out with an iOS version of Farmville, and it really wasn't even the same game. You're talking to the same farm, but it was very limited what you could do. You didn't have the same customization options. So they had tried at one point, but their entire company was revolved around creating something really really quickly in Flash, and then iterating on it quickly. So you'd have a bunch of people that are just making art, a bunch of people that are making objects, and a guy that is basically throwing it all together into a Flash app, and then writing the server architecture to basically accept all the connections and do all that stuff. Well, if you're one of your main components of your game development like ecosystem is Flash, well, obviously that's not going to work very well on mobile because no phones right now ship with Flash. So they obviously had to change the way that they did things, and super expensive. I mean, they bought OMG Pop for like all the money in the world, and then basically lost all the money in the world, and then all the people that started that company left. Like, they're having a really hard time figuring out mobile, figuring out iOS, figuring out Android. And they employed like thousands and thousands of people, and now a lot of those people are out of work. So it really kind of sucks, especially when you're a company that buys a company, takes over all the people and all the development, and then decides to like lay everybody off, and all those people lose jobs. It really kind of sucks. I hope Zynga gets smaller, so they're not this company, super egotistical, big chip on the shoulder company like they've been for a while. It would be good if they would still develop some of their games, and maybe had the publishing arm take over. Then at least you're going to get a company with a lot of money taking chances on these indie titles that maybe wouldn't be able to exist because someone couldn't afford to take their quit their job and take a year to develop a labor of love. That would be great. But yeah, if they're just going to be a company that sells virtual pigs on Facebook, I mean, that company can go away for as much as I care about it.
Yeah, they did Horn, right?
Yep. Yeah,
through Zynga Publishing. And it's kind of been like, we were all excited, or we were all interested in Horn. Horn actually was a very impressive game.
Yeah.
It had its shortcomings, but the art was incredible.
Yeah.
And
no updates.
And no other games. It seems like have they even published another game after that one, or was Horn the last one?
I'm pretty sure they have. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I'm pretty sure they've published some other games. I think Rovio's published more games, and they just started doing their publishing arm. So yeah,
like a month ago, and they're already passed. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Zynga's having some problems. So that's kind of scary. But hopefully anybody that gets laid off quickly finds another job at another development studio, because there's a lot of super talented people that unfortunately got bought up when Zynga was the 900-pound gorilla, like buying companies and chewing them out and buying their competitors so that they could get their DAUs, daily average users, in the Zynga fold. It's just like, I don't know. It was kind of dirty for a while there, and maybe this is going to change the way Zynga does business, but probably not. If you're a greedy bastard, you tend to always be a greedy bastard, even if you get like pushed down a couple times.
Well, good luck with that Xbox guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's get into the reviews. We got 4 for you this week. We're going to try to do a little bit slower, or quicker reviews rather. We don't want to take 2 hours doing these reviews. So Do you want me to kick it off, or Jared, do you want to go first? I'll let you make the choice.
Ooh, such a tough choice.
It is. Flip a coin if you have to.
I'm gonna go first.
All right.
Because my internet's currently doing well, and just on the off chance that it decides to freak out, we might as well get me in. So my first game that I'm going to be talking about this week is a game called Breach and Clear. So feel free to talk about this or give me your input, Lloyd,
Sure.
because I know that you have played several levels of it. So Breach and Clear, it came from somebody who is well known. I can't remember who it is now. That's really bad. Can you go find that for me?
Yeah, they're a company. They started from a bunch of game developers from.
One of them did like Call of Duty or something.
Yeah, they're called Gun. But yeah, I think there was a bunch of people from Call of Duty. I'm gonna have to dig it up. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So Breach and Clear, it's kind of a tactical turn-based type game. And so what it is you have a level. There is often, or you're always picking which doors you're coming in. And then from those doors, you draw the path that you want your character to take. You also can set different waypoints so that you're facing the right direction and sweeping over the room appropriately to make sure that you're not exposing your guys to danger. And yeah, so then you set up all your guys. You have a squad of 4, and in the squad you get to pick several well-known U.S. type things like Navy SEALs, or there's a Canadian one, right? Like JT something.
That's one I chose.
Why am I not surprised? Anyway, so Lloyd was the Canadians.
But likely, or like everything else in this game, the choice really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting at. So you open up, or you go ahead and you say, okay, I have them all mapped out. I know where they all want to go. I hit the button for clear. Then all the turns take place simultaneously, which is actually kind of cool. And they'll go in the door. They'll shoot anything that comes into their line of fire. You have several different choices of the types of characters you have. So you have like a medic and an arms master. And that choice doesn't seem to really make much of a difference. You can pretty much pick any of them. And yeah, they'll have different special moves. And you have to use the special moves as you get up into the higher levels. However, it still is just not that interesting because, you know, it's not like I ever felt like, oh man, I wish I had that other class of guy in this one. So the next thing is that, everyone takes their turns. Hopefully you take out bad guys and they don't take you out, and you then go again and you do the exact same thing. And from your new positions, there are a total of 15 levels in the game. There are 5 each for 3 different areas, and they have 2 other areas that's coming soon. And so that's another thing that to me feels a little off, is the fact that they're kind of selling you on the potential of the game. And the game looks really great. I love tactics. I love strategy games. Everyone who listens to this podcast knows this. And this one just didn't do it for me. You get to make a bunch of decisions about, you can go to the marketplace and change all their outfit and gear, and they have like different statistics on the weapons and stuff, but it's completely worthless because no matter what you pick, it pretty much performs the same.
Yeah.
And then you level up your characters, and you're like, hey, that's cool. I get to level up my characters, and you get to spend 5 points in making them better. And like you'll up their accuracy or something. And it's not like you notice. All these things that happen and these choices that you make just don't matter.
Well, what's basically happening is you're breaching and clearing a room, a small building, and it might take like a couple minutes for you to beat the level, but in real time, it's like seconds. So these guys are moving into a room, blowing a door, running in, gunning these people down, and it takes like in real time. If it was a real time game, it would be like 6 seconds for all that stuff to happen. So it doesn't really matter how good your accuracy is increased, because it's not like you're ever shooting across a courtyard. You're in a room with someone else. And just like you, I didn't see any difference in any of the different stuff I did. Even more so, like if you bought the game in the first week or two, you got this special limited edition gold gun. Well, you don't even get to use that. You get the ability to buy it. So the whole game is it's not free to play. It's what does it cost again? Like $2, $3? $2. Originally, this game was supposed to be free to play, so that made sense why all these guns were so expensive to buy. But it's not free to play anymore. So there's a lot of grinding and a lot of playing levels over and over and over again to get the weapons you want, which then ultimately at the end of the day don't really make that much of a difference. You might maybe kill things one turn quicker. So yeah, I didn't like it. I played the first few missions and I was like, all right, that was a thing. I played it and now I can go and move on and do other things.
Yeah, I was really disappointed because I kept looking at this game and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
It looked like
I play it all.
XCOM with Call of Duty skin. Like it looked like exactly the type of game I want to play.
Well, and the idea is cool, but because like you said, it's over in like 2 turns and each turn is supposed to be 5 seconds. It's just it's not that interesting, and it just all your decisions don't matter. So yeah, and so there's currently if you look at the screen and the selecting missions, you have terrorist hunt, hostage rescue, and bomb defusal. However, only terrorist hunt is active, and then of that terrorist hunt, there's 5 different sites. There's Turkey, Afghanistan, and China, which you can play. And then there's Germany that says coming soon. And there's Mexico that's coming soon. And then they have, like, as you were saying, it's grindy if you actually do want other stuff to specialize. Even though it's dumb, you don't want stuff to specialize because it doesn't make much difference. So I'm not calling you dumb if you spent money on this, but...
yeah,
but you can go and buy a coin doubler and a star doubler because there's a premium currency, and you can also buy like a patch, and the patch gives you 5% to evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Again, evasion doesn't do squat for you. It's not like I've seen guns miss me. So anyway, I can't recommend this one.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day,
it has a lot of interesting ideas, but it just does not come out to a fun game.
This game scared me right away. Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to. You're cutting up a little bit, so I thought there was a delay there, but it really wasn't. But it's I like the game. I like what the game hopefully will be. But as it is right now, it seems like it's trying to do too much. Like when you first start the game, the menu system is so convoluted. Like you're going through menu and sub menu and everything, which makes sense. I understand that that's there, but it seems like there's more planned than what was shipped with it, and they've said as much. But it seems to be doing, for me. I was hoping for like an XCOM game with a Call of Duty skin. So I was hoping for having to plan out movements. I guess I should have read a little bit more, because essentially you're running into a series of rooms, like a small building, and you go in, you breach the door, you move your characters in, they shoot everybody that they see, and then the mission's over, and it's not quite what I wanted. But they said that they're working on other content. They said that there's more coming. So I hope that it will become the game that I want, which is good, which is the reason why I'm going to keep it on my iPad for a little while longer. And I still want to give it some time, and I want to play through it a little bit, but it seemed like an odd little game. And like I said, maybe I bought into the hype because I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. Nice. That's awesome. I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, and I thought it was something that it wasn't. Everybody said it was Call of Duty, or a Call of Duty skin on XCOM, and that's entirely not the case right now. It is, I guess, but it's a smaller, slimmed down version as well. So anyway, it has potential. It's not a game that I'm going to choose to play right now, is I guess what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I have to make a couple of corrections. There isn't a star doubler because stars is kind of the premium currency, and they are finite. It is an experience doubler. And then I just got informed, and I feel kind of bad about this, that the patches that you can buy, all the money that they earn from it goes to charity. So that is a really cool thing to do in the game. Give you a little teeny tiny boost and allow you to donate to charity through the game. So.
Cool. Okay, so you can finish your review. Sorry for jumping in and walking over you there for a bit.
I agree with you. It's one that I'm going to keep on just to see how it kind of develops. I really enjoy the idea. Like I said, I wish my decisions mattered just a little bit more. But overall, at the moment, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. This game has so much potential, though. Like it could very easily become one of my must-have games of the year. Just needs a little bit of patching. So I'll keep it around and see how it develops over time. And it's definitely an interesting thing. So check it out. If it does sound interesting to you, if you're a tactical or strategy type person, then go ahead and pick it up. I'll definitely update it if and bring you guys an update if they bring out a patch that changes things significantly.
Cool. All right, man. Well, let's get into my first review. I'm going to review a little gem called Tiny Thief. And I'm going to turn you down. I'm getting some echo for some reason from you, Jared. So I'm going to turn you down a little bit. So if you have to pop in, I might have to turn your mic up just a touch. We were just talking about Rovio and how they're publishing games as well. Well, this is one of their published titles. So it came from Rovio Stars, and it's called Tiny Thief. And when I first saw some screenshots for it, I was like, oh, okay, so it's kind of like a stealthy kind of strategy game. It kind of is that, but then at the same time, it's also like kind of like a point and click adventure game. Really weird mixture of the two. So anyway, in Tiny Thief, you play a tiny thief. So it's a very apt title, and you are trying to you're trying to rob from the rich and give back to the poor, essentially. So as you play through the intro and then into the first bunch of levels, there's 6 kind of level worlds. The first one is kind of the tutorial, and then there's 5 worlds that each have 5 levels inside of them, and you're trying to do something. So maybe in a level you have to steal a fish because you're hungry, and when you start the level, you'll see someone that is that has a fish. So you want that fish because you want to feed yourself and your friends. And the problem is there's guards there. And if a guard sees you, immediately the level's over. And the art style is like, it's really awesome. It's hard to describe. To me, it reminds me of like a very kind of like European kind of art style, like an Asterix and Obelix kind of thing. And so you have to stay away from the view of the guards, as I said, or they find you. And when they find you, it's not upsetting. It's not aggravating because you do this little cute animation. So maybe you'll pick up something nearby and you do a little stupid animation with it, which I kind of laughed. Every time I died, I kind of laughed, which was going to kind of made everything a little bit easier. So when you jump into the level, you have basically a set of things you have to do. So you have to get the main thing. So this level I'm talking about, you have to get the fish, but there's other things that you have to do as well. So there's hidden options, or hidden items rather, that you have to get. And there is the main item that you have to get. And then you have to find your friend, and your friend's this little, just a little tiny little animal that runs around. And, every time that you complete one of those mission objectives, you get a star. And like most games, you have to get 3 stars to completely beat the level. So the game plays out with you basically just trying to figure out how you can interact with different things. So if you go near a barrel, for example, you get a little arrow on top of the barrel, which means that you can jump into the barrel. So you're like, okay, so I can use barrels to hide. If you have to get near the top of the level, maybe you need to find a ladder or a tree or something else, you could do that as well. Other things you can do just by tapping on them. So there might be like a basket of something. Or in this case, on the level that I'm looking at right now, the level with the fish, there's a little oyster. If I tap on it, well, then the oyster opens up and a little pearl is there. And then you can pick up the pearl and go about getting one of your secret achievements. So things range from like stupid easy all the way down to a little bit more difficult. And basically, it just revolves around you playing with all the different items that you can modify or interact with, similar to old school point and click adventure games, and then doing something with them to eventually get to your end goal. Sometimes you have to time your movements between the movements of the guards and other people that are in the world. Other times you're just trying to do stuff and be sneaky about it. So in this level where you have to get the fish, you basically walk over to one part of the level and you find a fishing rod. And then you climb to the top, and then you're able to actually fish the fish away from the guard without him noticing, because you basically just fished it. And then once you do that, the guard kind of walks away. And then you're pretty much free to end the level. You can just go to the bottom, walk down, and then end the level. And that's pretty much what the levels are. There's a lot of trial by error. There's a lot of playing around. And the thing about this game that just kind of endeared itself to me is it is so charming that failure doesn't matter, because you get a laugh. You learn a little bit about what the level consists of, a little bit more, and then you're able to complete it by taking that knowledge and building on it. It's such an iterative game. It is in the way where you're learning things more and more and more, and it teaches you how to do things like how to put on disguises, or how to take things and then put them in different places to trick people. And then it builds on those as you make your way through the levels. And it's the levels themselves are set to kind of a rhythm, sort of. So the guards will have a certain animation, which is an animation, and there's sound on it as well. And you can kind of learn sort of the way that the game plays just by listening and watching and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I really, really like this game. As I said, there's 6 worlds, 5 main ones, 1 tutorial, 3 stars on each. There's achievements for each thing that you can do. There's hidden achievements for doing stupid things. Like I kept making someone fall, and then eventually I got an achievement for being mean, which then made me smile even more. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a super charming game. It's a game that pretty much anybody can play. My wife was playing it for a bit, and she's not really into kind of turn-based strategy games or real-time strategy games, but she really dug this one because you're basically playing and working on stuff like that, and just learning and completing levels that way. So I don't know. That's Tiny Thief. It's $2.99 on the App Store. It's currently on sale for 99 cents. So if it's still on sale when you hear this review, go pick it up. It is absolutely worth $1. It's still worth $3. I don't feel like it's overpriced for what it is. And it gets a 5 out of 5. I love pretty much everything to do with this game. It's really, really well done. The art style, the sound, the animation, everything. It's what I really like about games on iOS. Just kind of the indie creativity that you get from a lot of these games. And it's kind of why I said that Zynga not be able to publish games or maybe going out is sad, because maybe that type of deal helped foster this game and make it come out, because it truly is a gem. And yeah, definitely go check it out. So that's Tiny Thief, $2.99 on the App Store, 99 cents on sale, and it gets a 5 out of 5. All right, Jared, your turn. You're up next.
Means I have to go turn my video back on. I've been hiding out over here.
Yep.
All right, so all right, I'm gonna pitch a game to you here, Lloyd. What if you had a game where you could build a tower,
Oh,
and
I have that game. It's Tiny Tower.
it's kind of a small tower,
Oh.
and you have to save money, and you use your money to add floors, and it's kind of crazy because you kind of pick the type of store you want, but then one just randomly shows up, like a service store, and then you'll get, I don't know, something service like an accountant's office. And then what if the people that you recruit come and live on some other floors in your same tower, and they all have specialties on what they do well, and you want to try and get as high of number as a specialty, even to the point that you get a discount based on how many points they have. So if they have, a 9, then that's a 9% discount in order to restock that floor. Yeah.
Seems complicated.
Well, it also seems a little bit like Tiny Tower, right?
Oh yeah, that game I said I already played. Yeah.
Yeah. And what if you can like even level up your floors?
Oh, okay.
And there's you can get premium currency, and with the premium currency you can upgrade your elevator. Does this sound like an interesting game to you?
No.
Oh, didn't you like Tiny Tower?
Yeah, but I've been there, done that type thing.
Okay, so this game is called Freak Tower. It's by Gung Ho Entertainment. They are the ones that did Puzzles and Dragons, and their latest effort is this one called Freak Tower. And my goodness, it is a wholesale ripoff of Tiny Tower.
Yeah, even the screenshots. I mean, they don't do much to make you think it's not a shameless ripoff.
It is the most blatant ripoff of all time. Well, no, that's not true, but it's a huge ripoff. Yes, it uses some of the same things. They do a few things differently. One of the few things they do differently is you get to put or you can raise a pet in your basement, and the pet will go and do random things to help you do better in your little tower.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go hunting for bad guys, and the bad guys will climb up your tower, and the citizens of your tower will fight against the bad guy, and the bad guy will have weaknesses, like they're weak to food service workers for some reason. Because apparently they don't like steak knives. I don't know, but they'll be weak to all of your food people, or all of your service, or all of your good people. And so they climb up, and you have to try and kill them, and there's a little arm at the top that you can drop things on them, like a flower pot to make them fall back down, or a net that'll slow them down, or a bomb that'll just take some of their life. So there is that little mini game that goes on. It becomes ridiculously hard very quickly. I was able to get through the first 4 levels. I've been playing this for about a week now. It's my new freemium game for the moment, since I finally kicked the Clash of Clans habit after 2 months.
Nice, finally.
So, well, yeah, it's not really that long, but I don't think that this one's gonna be a long-term game for me playing. I'm not a huge fan of it. It just feels way too much like Tiny Tower. They changed all the sprites, so now the sprites are like these weird, wacky people. Like some wear pumpkins on their heads or sombreros, and they're just weird people. So that's kind of cool, but I don't know. It just is a complete ripoff of Tiny Tower, and it's also much more. When you play it, it has a hand on your wallet, because you can't get a lot of the upgrades without the premium currency, and it does not dole out that premium currency very often. I've been playing here for a while, and I think I've gotten like 60 something in a week,
Mm-hmm.
which is not enough to do very much in the game.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, if you're interested in this game, I would probably recommend you go play Tiny Tower, because I just kind of got rubbed the wrong way by the ripping off of the complete idea. And if you want something by Gung Ho, go play Puzzles and Dragons, because at least that's somewhat unique. And they're making loads of money off of that anyway. So that is Freak Tower, Gung Ho Entertainment. I am actually going to give it a 2 out of 5. So
Yikes.
I apologize that I just have 2 games that I can't recommend today, but it is what it is. That's what I've been playing.
Oh, Grumpy Cat himself right there.
No, he's on tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's the bonus stage. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. Freak Tower free on the App Store, 2 out of 5. All right. I'm going to get into my next review. And this is a great game. So unlike Jared, I'm doing 2 good games this week. He's doing 2 games that he didn't quite like as much as he thought he might have. And excuse me, just about to cough here. All right. This is a game called Delta V Racing, or Delta 5 Racing. Hard to say what it was. But it's by Space Hopper Studios. It's $2 on the App Store, $1.99, and came out last week, I believe. The developer popped by the forums to chat with us a little bit, sent me a really nice email, and basically described this game as Wipeout meets did he say Wipeout meets disc driving? Something like that. I think that's what it was. He even said that he had played my wife in disc driving until she whooped his butt and he didn't play her again or something. It was a really funny story. So immediately when he said it's like Wipeout, it's like a combat racer, I was like, okay, I'm sold. I want this game. So basically downloaded it, installed it, and immediately fell in love with kind of the look and feel. This game looks and feels amazingly polished, which surprised me because it was just a small little independent developer, small studio, I guess, that built it. I expected something that was a little bit less polished, I guess. And what Delta V is picture Wipeout without all the loops and turns, and you take the road that you're going down, and instead of going straight into the screen, you flip it down 2D and you put it just top to bottom on the screen. And that's essentially what it is. So instead of avoiding turns and things, you're basically sliding your craft up and down the screen to miss walls and embankments and things like that. So really simple to grasp and pretty easy to get in and have fun with, and really, really hard to master. And then it throws in a whole bunch of different game modes to make it even more interesting. So there's just normal races where you have to do a set number of laps of the 2D course and come in first to win. There are kind of last man standing modes where every lap the last place person blows up. There's just races between you and another person, so kind of like a one-on-one race. There's a whole bunch of different modes as well. One really fun one is you try to fly as far as you can, and the difference with this, or is you try to do as many laps as you can to get as much distance as you can. And the change with that one is your craft is constantly speeding up. So instead of hitting speeds and boosts, you want to hit the slowdown items to slow down so you can control a little bit more to get to the desired length to get the gold medal to continue. And that, in a nutshell, is kind of what the game is. But basically, it's divided into a bunch of different circuits. Each of the circuits has 8 main missions and then 1 boss fight, which is the one-on-one race. And you're basically trying to go through, get golds, get money, because every time that you place first, second, or third, you get a certain amount of coins. Use those coins to buy upgraded crafts. Use those upgraded crafts to do better. and then you eventually get enough points to beat the boss and move on to the next tournament. So there's the amateur, semi-pro, pro, and coming soon. So 3 main tournaments, and more content promised to be on the way. And I guess there's the rookie challenge, which is kind of the tutorial, kind of showing a lot of the different things as well. So I guess there's 4 main tournaments and then the coming soon one. And that's essentially the game. So it's you against the computer to try to get high score. And every race is really cool because it each has its own leaderboard. So you can see where you sit. So I'm usually one of 3, one of 4 friends. When you look at some of the races, I played it a lot when it first came out, and I was like number 1 on a lot of the leaderboards. I've slipped a lot in the last week or so, which is kind of concerning. I'm gonna have to go back in and boost up my times. But that's really nice. You immediately, once you click on a level, it kind of gives you sort of the top players that are ahead of you. So I can see that on campaign semi-pro. Let's see here. Mission 4, that I'm currently in 2nd place out of all the friends that have played it. And so you can immediately get that feedback and then want to pop on and do better if you can. I'm going to have to find some of Jared's scores to see how Jared places with me.
You have to go to the first, because I've only played through, I'm still in the rookie campaign.
In the rookie campaign. Okay, I'll have to do that. But yeah, I mean, that's nice. That's similar to a lot of the games on Xbox Live. They did that, and it was really addictive. This game has that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. When you're playing the races that have weapons, there's a various number of weapons that you can pick up. This game is different, where every time you go through a weapon pickup, if you haven't used your weapon gets upgraded to the next level, and there'll be a certain number of levels that you can have. And the weapons get better as the levels progress. So usually it's like a machine gun, and then maybe missiles, and then a boost, and then a mine. So it's kind of like risk versus reward. Do you want to save your weapon? Do you want to get another weapon pickup to get the better one? That type of thing.
What weapons are available to you depend on which craft you're using.
Yeah, well, the number of weapons available to you, so how high you can upgrade, changes based on the craft that you choose. Essentially, each race will have different weapons that are available if it's a weapon race. So some of them will always have a boost, some of them won't, some of them will have mines, some of them won't, and you have to basically use the best craft that is available to you, that has the most amount of flexibility for how you want to race these laps and these missions. So yeah, that's essentially Delta V. It has a really awesome soundtrack. It reminded me a lot of playing Wipeout. It's got a lot of like electronica playing in the background as you're racing through. The controls are great. You basically slide your finger to where you want your craft to go, and it will eventually make its way there based on how fast your craft is. So your controls don't get in the way of playing the game. It's fun, competition, a lot of achievements, a lot of leaderboards to kind of kick your butt into gear to get better on specific levels. And yeah, that's Delta V Racing, or Delta 5 Racing. $1.99 on the App Store, as I said. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I loved this game from top to bottom. Lately, I've been paying a lot of attention to how polished kind of the whole experience is. I kind of really like the whole user interface type thing to do with these games. And yeah, this one is from top to bottom. It looks professional, and I really kind of dug that. So check it out. Delta V Racing, $2 in the App Store, and hopefully more content will be coming soon. So do check it out.
Yeah,
right,
I liked it a lot too as well. And that's funny because I don't usually like a lot of racing games. I kind of wish that when you're in the big full ones, there's no collisions. Like you can like run into people and it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if your gun runs into them if you are shooting.
Yeah,
I thought that was a little strange.
I guess that's kind of what you kind of had to do, since it's a kind of like a top-down 2D thing. It having sort of collisions between that would kind of make it so if two people go into an area where there's a tunnel, well then what happens? You're going to get stuck. because one can't move or whatever. So it kind of makes sense. And yeah, it kind of makes you want to play the game different ways. You don't have to worry so much about being near people. But then if you saw them walk over a weapon pickup, it's like, okay, did they upgrade to the mines? Well, maybe I don't want to be behind this guy because he's going to drop a mine right in front of me. Or maybe I don't want to be too close beside him because he might slow down, get behind me, and then shoot me with his missile or whatever. So it adds to kind of the, I don't know, the gameplay. You have to kind of develop different strategies based on what's happening on the screen.
Well,
all right.
Cool.
All right, so that's 4 reviews for you guys. Tiny Thief, 5 out of 5. Delta V Racing, 4 out of 5. Breach and Clear, 3 out of 5. And Freak Tower, 2 out of 5. So check those games out, guys. Let us know what you think of the show. Head on over to vgpodcast.com. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and let us know what you think. Email us, vgpodcast@gmail.com, or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. All right, Jared, thanks, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yep, it was. Good talking to you again. We'll talk next week, okay?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll do it again next week. Talk to you guys in about a week's time. Take it easy and enjoy iOS. A lot of great games came out these last couple of weeks, so go get yourself some iTunes credit and go have some fun. A lot of great games out there. All right, take it easy, guys.
Yep, bye.
What happened there? My music just stopped. What the heck?